Do you ever feel like you have way too many ideas for your business and all of these thoughts and ideas are coming into play, but there is no clear way to pull them all together? You just feel lost in it all? Or have you ever been told that you're just too much in a meeting? You have so many ideas and you're thinking in the big picture, or you're really passionate and expansive and have all these different directions. Now, if that sounds familiar, I'm guessing you've heard things like you're too emotional, you're too ambitious, you're too creative, you're too spiritual. Now, why are these bad things? They are not. And the reality of it all, though, is that when we start to hear all those things, we start to edit ourselves. We start to shift ourselves. We start to change ourselves because it's a bad thing to have all these ideas. And the reality of this is that it is not a bad thing. It is actually an amazing thing. It allows you to be the multi-passionate professional that you want to be. And this can make it challenging sometimes for us to feel clear or for others to understand our passion or what we want to do, which makes it harder for us to sometimes model our success to others or borrow their techniques because it might not align with our flow. And over time, this kind of just quiets us. It quiets our edges. It shuts us down. It makes us not be authentic to ourselves because we're trying to be like so many other people. Now, if you've ever felt that tension, if you've ever connected with feeling like you had to be something else because others told you that you were too much or that you had too many ideas, this video is for you because I have been there too. Now, here's the main thing. Most people don't just wake up one day saying, I am too much, right? Like, I didn't wake up this morning being like, I am too much. This belief is actually learned over time. And what it does is it forms slowly, right? It starts with some of the first times we hear it. We're like, that's not true. But over time, we start to notice certain parts of us that get praised. And then we start to notice different parts that feel misunderstood. And when depth feels inconvenient, when complexity feels hard to explain, we start to trim ourselves down. We start to shift. We start to change to match what other people are wanting and needing. And just remember, this is not because you're not trying to, it's not because you're not good enough. It's that you're trying to be accepted and not overwhelm other people. Now, over time, that trimming, it actually starts to feel like a focus for some people, right? So we start to trim, and that feels like we start to have more focus, more direction. But what it really does is it's actually just fragmenting us, right? It's putting us into these different boxes to align with what we feel like we should be. And today, what I want to do is I want to show you another way to see this because you don't have to change who you are. You actually get to build on who you are. Now, just imagine it from this lens, right? So pretend you are an orchestra, right? An orchestra is not just one instrument. It's actually many instruments. We have strings, we have percussion, we have brass, we have woodwinds. And with each of those instruments, they have their own texture. They have their own volume. They have their own timing. Now, when all of those instruments play without direction, it's chaotic, it's overwhelming, it's a lot, right? But it's not because the instruments are all wrong. It's because there's no conductor for each instrument, for each direction, right? So most people who feel like they are too much, it's not that they are chaotic. It's that they're standing in a middle of this powerful orchestra and they're trying to quiet these certain sections instead of leading the whole orchestra and helping all the parts work together. And I love this concept of that we are an orchestra because all of your thoughts, all of your ways of navigating things, they are 100% valid and needed to be creative. And so it's more about learning how to conduct the orchestra and conduct the different parts of self. So here's the distinction that changed this concept for me of feeling like I was in chaos all the time. Chaos, it doesn't have many, or chaos isn't having many parts, sorry. Chaos is actually having many parts without the integration or without that conductor orchestrating the orchestra, right? So integration, it doesn't mean muting different instruments. It just means allowing them to play in relationship with one another. So you want them to work together. Now, focus doesn't come from choosing one note. It actually comes from choosing the direction of the music. So you have to know that direction of the music in order to know what different instruments are going to play. And when you have that clear center, when you have that core truth guiding you, that allows your complexity to stop feeling heavy, and it allows it to feel more intentional, because complexity is not a bad thing. I love being complex, but we also have to know how to orchestrate all the different parts of who we are. And this is why so many thoughtful, multidimensional individuals feel tired. It's not because you're too much. It's not because you can't handle yourself. It's because you're trying to regulate yourself over and over and over. You're trying to pull all of these parts together, but you don't have that specific direction that you're needing yet. Okay. So oftentimes you might notice that this is your day-to-day life. And some days you're reflective and inward. And then other days you're decisive and strategic. And some days you're warm and you lead with warmth. And then sometimes you feel really clear and there's a direction. And none of that is inconsistency. That's just a range of how you are each day. Now, what happens though is that the exhaustion, it comes from not trusting that range, right? It comes from not trusting your ability to reflect, your ability to become inward, your ability to become decisive, your ability to be warm, because society keeps telling you to be someone else, right? And so the goal is for us to trust our range and trust who we are authentically. And we want to really develop this version of ourself that feels grounded and centered within. And it's based on our values. It's based on that direction that we were talking about for an orchestra. Now, I want you to pause with me for just a moment and just kind of think, which part of you do you instinctively quiet? Again, it's not because it's wrong or because it's not good enough, but what part of you do you quiet because you're afraid it might overwhelm someone else? Is it an emotional part? Is it an intuitive part? Is it a visionary part? So just kind of think of that. What part do you quiet? And now I want to ask yourself, what if that instrument isn't too loud? What if it's simply waiting for the right moment to be invited in, right? So instead of quieting this instrument, instead of quieting this part of yourself that is very much you and actually helps you be that multi-passionate entrepreneur, what if you just allowed it to be invited in when it is the time for that instrument to be used? Because that's a very important piece of it, right? Like even in an orchestra, the violins aren't playing all the time, right? The cellos aren't playing all the time. They have different parts of the music, and then sometimes they're playing together. So it's really just understanding when is it helpful for us to invite that part in versus continuing to push it out. Now, real focus isn't about shrinking yourself. It's about leading yourself, like the composer, like the director, right? When one core truth is conducted in your orchestra, every part of you knows when to rise and when to soften. Each part knows when to play loud or when to pause because it's not their turn. And that's what integration feels like. It's not control, it's actually coordination, right? Stop turning off those parts that make you you and allow you to be the person that you want to be and help other people. So if this resonates with you and you want help finding that center, that anchor that helps bring all those parts into harmony, I would love for you to check out that free identity anchor worksheet that I had from last week's video. Or if you wanted, we could do a free clarity call to just figure out what that anchor might look like for you. And the free identity anchor worksheet that I did last week is actually a short grounding process that will help you identify the emotional thread that connects everything that you do, right? It's that piece that really helps you identify where you serve from. It could, if you want to think of it this way, it's your conductor, right? And what we're going to do is I'll put that link below if you want to grab that freebie down there. And then next week, we are going to take this even further by mapping out your values. And what this is going to do is it's going to help your inner clarity become something that you can live from. And when you can live from your inner clarity, it actually helps you communicate more with those that you want to help. Now, if you felt supported by this information, please subscribe and share with someone else that may benefit from it as well, because all we can do is really help others know that they can be the conductor to their orchestra and they do not need to be quiet just because they are creative. And I hope to see you all in the next clarity session next week.